Thank you for your time. I am really excited to talk with you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to talk with you.
Let's talk about your new project, the Crux.
hmm
Yes. It seems when I did my research, it seems to be with a lot of feelings. You wrote while are you filming Stranger Things the last season,
hmm
and that means you were with a lot of people surround you, and at the
Definitely.
same time feeling a little bit alone. How are you feeling?
It was done. So it was done over the last 2 years. So for the first year, I was filming other things, traveling around. And then for the second year, I was filming Stranger Things, but then also the whole time recording. And like you said, yeah, it's like a diary, and writing songs is a way to have some sort of like reflection and catharsis about kind of like what's going on in your life, and a way to that's the way that I get it out, I guess, is through writing songs. And feels good to do it, I guess, feels good.
And you talk a lot about your friends and family, how they helped you with this project, the creative process, the missing of home did help you with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, family and friends are kind of everything, I guess you could
yeah,
say for me. That's a big part of my life. And it's cool that I could also, my friends and my family are on a lot of the record, and they're in a lot of these recordings. And it's nice to just have a way to show how much you care and show how much people in your life mean to you. And it's not every day that you get to kind of like do something like that or say something like that. So to what better motivation is there to make art than to sort of express those feelings of gratitude for the people that you love?
yeah. They always had this important role in your life, or this isolation helped you to give more value.
That's a great question. I think that there is just something about getting older that inherently makes you kind of appreciate things differently. And I've always had a close relationship to my family, and always had a close relationship to my friends, but just due to circumstances going on in my own life, I just felt like in the past few years even more grateful. And um, yeah, and using this art form as a way to show that sort of appreciation. Like it just was like a natural thing that kind of ended up happening, and it's great. It feels so good to tell the people that you love that you care about them. It feels awesome.
And the sound of this album, it's a little bit different for others, have like a 60s, 70s vibe. You always like to work with this rhythm, or was very natural?
The album, this one was done in a little bit of a different way. It was recorded in a studio from beginning to end. And I kind of had like a fixation on sort of making a studio album, like a Steely Dan or, Beach Boys, or I don't know, AC/DC or something like that. Just like having it be like a studio centric thing, and kind of trying to bring it out of the computer as much as possible, and to use, yeah, things, hardware, instruments that are outside of the computer. Just because I felt like the last album I made was so in the computer, and I was ready to kind of take a break from that and do something totally different. That's just like the way that I enjoy working is, okay, did that. Now let's do the exact opposite or do something different. And I do have a fixation on songwriting from the past, and I really think that there's something to be learned. So, yeah, I guess what I tried to do was be inspired and take influences from the past, and hopefully try to update them and make them my own. And I feel like the process of doing it in the studio really did, at the end of the day, inform the product of what kind of came out in the album that was made.
And you said that the Crux is like a hotel for emotional changes. The guests are like with this feeling. What was the most Crux change for you in that sense? did you learn? What did you learn being a guest, maybe?
That's a good question. Uh, you know, the imagery was sort of like for the imagery, the first thing that was done for the album was the music, and the imagery was kind of brought on later to kind of, how can we sort of tie this thing together? I guess it's just like valuing those that are close to you, friends and family, would be
Yeah.
mine.
Okay. And you said that this album also feels like cinema.
Hmm.
If it were a movie, what will be about, you think?
Oh, uh, it would honestly, it would be kind of like a Robert Altman style movie. I would hope like that's kind of what we were going for with some of these videos and stuff. Just sort of like a big cast of characters, people living in this hotel, a movie kind of about nothing. And the beginning of the movie would be the person like checking into the place, and it would just be about them living at this place and all the antics. Maybe it goes from maybe person to person, almost like like the movie Slacker. And then at the end of the movie, the person would end up leaving.
You have all the script.
I gotta find a writer.
Yeah, you can film it. Our next movie, maybe.
You're gonna write it.
Me, no, I'm not,
You.
not that much, but I will watch. I will watch, and
Okay.
of course.
Okay.
I have to ask about some Brazilian references.
Hmm.
Did you know? Did you listen some Brazilian music, maybe?
Yeah. This guy Jim Maya. Sim-
Yes.
I love that guy. I love.
Very in the 60s, 70s, this psychedelic thing was in a movement called Tropicalia.
Hmm.
It's a Brazilian movement, and Tim Maia was very on that as well. It kind of can remember a little bit your grooves in your album. So
Mm.
yeah, Tropicalia, it's a lot of artists. If you
Oh,
wanna research later, very
write
good.
that down. Remember that.
Yeah. And I got to ask as Stranger Things about Stranger Things, of
Hmm.
course. The Brazilian fans are very obsessed, as I said, and we are excited with the final season. But doing like a thing with the album, I'm gonna finish. But what do you think? What song from the album can be a good fit for the final season?
Oh, well, I don't think any of these songs should be on the final season, the soundtrack, not at all. I guess if you were to put one of them, I'll just have to write a new one. I'll have to write something else that would fit. None of them really would, I think, would be a good fit.
Not even for Steve, because he
No,
character um, went to a lot of transition as well.
no, I
No,
don't think so. No.
I guess I just wanna ask my last question. It's what
Okay.
song from the album would you recommend to someone who's feeling down or lost, like missing home? And for those Brazilian fans who wants to listen to Joe for the first time.
For the first song, I would say "Egg." That to me is a song um, that has a kind of an uplifting message in it, and is kind of good for multiple listens in my mind. A song to start on? It's a good question. Maybe the song Roddy. It was the first song I ever put out, and I still honestly really like it. And that's kind of cool to say. So yeah, that's a good one to start with.
Okay. I know you are going to a tour in
Hmm.
April.
Hmm.
So I hope someday to see you in Brazil with this
I,
tour or the one.
I hope as well. I think that there's a good possibility.
Oh my God, it's like a spoiler of a possibility.
Who knows what will happen, but I hope so.
Oh my God, I hope so as well. Can you just send a message to your fans here? And I just gonna leave you guys.
Yeah, a huge thanks to the fans in Brazil. That you guys have always been so great and kind and excited about the things that I've got going on. So I owe you guys a lot and can't wait to get back down there. It's a beautiful country. I've had a lot of fun going there in the past and can't wait to get back there.